Hello, YouTube, everyone, the world. How's it going today? How you doing? So I just got done talking about Pokemon Legends Arceus as a review, and I'm just gonna have this as a long recording. You're probably gonna be hearing some sneezing, some drinking of water, a couple of things. I just want to sit here and talk about everything going forward with the Pokemon franchise. Because this game is a milestone. Everybody thought Sword and Shield would be the real milestone for Pokemon. Really wasn't. It was really just a DS game that just happened to be made on the Switch. But Legends Arceus changes Pokemon entirely. And I'm just going to talk about it. I'm just going to probably talk about some things that you might not be interested in. And I'm just going to talk about everything going forward as a franchise that will cover a lot of aspects. The competitive, casual players, the hardcore people, the shiny hunters, Pokedex completers. This will just talk about it all as a whole going forward. So, welcome and grab a snack, grab something, because we'll probably be here for a little while just shooting the shit and talking about it. So, first off, if you haven't seen my review of Legends Arceus, I've just started editing it, or I just pieced everything together. It's going to be long. There's like 31 pieces of it, and I still have to put the gameplay and stuff into there. So it's going to be long. It's going to be like 30-40 minutes at least. So if you want a short review of the game, go ahead and get the short review. It doesn't do it justice to talk about everything and true opinions. You can't talk about your opinions of that game in less than 20 minutes. There's no way. But my overall opinions of Legends Arceus is I love this more than any other Pokemon game. I would say that I'm loving this game. Maybe in a couple of weeks, I'll probably say I really, really like it and I think it's great. But right now, I'm loving the game. And we need to talk about everything going forward. So in my review, I talked about some negativities. Graphically, textures and everything suck. The pop-in for the game is atrocious. It's really bad. It not only hinders most of the gameplay, doesn't stop you from enjoying it, but it hinders most of the gameplay when you're out in the world. It also completely destroys this one thing called the space-time distortions. It makes them not fun at all. Makes them not consistent. Makes them like really RNG because pop-in sucks. Other than that, they don't have all the Pokemon in there. There's not a huge DLC outside of like catching all the Pokemon. Yada yada yada. You can have your gripes and everything, but those are really the two big things. That there's just not a lot of that. The graphics really do suck and that. So those are the things like about the game that aren't great. But here's where the tricky part is. Okay? Here's where it is. Like, where does Pokemon go from here? And that's such a weird sentiment, because so the way Pokemon has been since Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, all right, Pokemon for years has been mainline games split between two versions at once, and then either a final version or Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Black 2, White 2, double versions because they artificially inflate sales. And are more cash grabs, and it's less work for them too. Than Mitch is making a really good something like a platinum. Now, they have the mainline games in the first wave. Then they have remake, they have mainline game 2, and they might have a side game or some other remake, something. Normally, it's just like mainline game, and then something else big, usually like a Pokken, Snap 2, some shit that's in between that they can throw in there. Pokemon Conquest is something there they can just kind of throw, or they have nothing until the next game and it's just hype for the new generation, because there's always more work that goes into new generation. But Pokemon as of lately has been really fucking weird. So they had Pokemon Sword and Shield. Well, before Sword and Shield, there was Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee was a remake, but we already had remakes of these games, and this was completely different. This was like a hybrid between Go's catching mechanic and a remake of traditionally of that gen, which kind of cemented, okay, they're remakes. Now they're on better hardware. You have better models, better everything. they can just do the remakes as these easier games, and then they're going to have the mainline games, which are going to be either harder or more mainline traditional style, like Sword and Shield was. So it was thought that they were just going to restart with the remakes and just have them all just there, right? And then they might potentially have remakes of games they haven't done yet, which would make more sense to just do the Let's Go games in that fashion. But then after that, they have Sword and Shield, which just sucks in every way, shape, and form. It's more expensive, gives you less, has a DLC that still has stupid mechanics like follow Pokemon that doesn't fully work. Bad textures. Again, no voice acting still. So a lot of the problems that were still in the Pokemon gens are just carried over from the DS gen. And now they have the mainline games. Whether they're good or bad, however you feel, now they have the mainline games and they have the Let's Go games. So the thought would be, you would think by the way Pokemon goes, they have two games. They have the mainline and then the remakes. So that's how they're going to go. The next games would probably be something along the lines of Pokemon Let's Go, Togepi and Larvitar, or Let's Go, I guess, Espeon Umbreon, which I wouldn't think. I would think it would just be like Let's Go Togepi, Let's Go Larvitar, because they seem to be more the traditional, like the two mascots of that gen. Or Espeon Umbreon, because they also are. And you would think that the Let's Go games would just evolve from there. But the next game after Sword and Shield was Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Now, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, for those of you who don't know, are not Diamond and Pearl or Platinum remakes. They are a weird combination. It's like Let's Go. Like Let's Go is a remake of Yellow, but not fully, because it's introducing Go mechanics and changing up things a little bit. And then you have the partner Pokemon, which are different than just starting with a Pikachu or an Eevee. So you have to see it's different, and it's a remake of it. Like it is remaking Yellow, but it's still different. It's not a one-to-one remake of the game. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are, for the most case, a pretty like one-to-one ratio from Diamond and Pearl to here, which makes sense. They're just called Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. It's not called like Periphalclist Platinum or some shit. But then it also has things in Platinum in the game. And then it has some things that are not traditionally in Platinum or that. Example, the Elite Four in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl have held items that really help the Pokemon. I know this because I was doing level caps for my Nuzlocke, and I saw that they have every single one of them. All of their Pokemon have held items, which to me as a mainline player is like, wait, they are actually giving items to fucking opposing Pokemon teams, making the game as hard as it actually should have been years ago when they introduced held items? Oh my god. Wasn't in Platinum, wasn't in Diamond, wasn't in Pearl. Other story beats. Some happen mostly Diamond and Pearl to add stuff from Platinum. So they're this weird mix. And then their art style is mostly chibi, and then in battle has a more traditional look of your player and other NPCs. It has cut Pokemon. It has cut move decks. It's weird because now Pokemon has this second version of remakes. They've got the traditional remake, I guess, in their Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which that's more in line with Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, and Heart Gold, Soul Silver, as much as they don't all compare to each other. But then you have the Let's Go games. So it's like Pokemon has the mainline games, then they've got remake Let's Go, which are like introduction to Pokemon. They've got old school remake, which are nostalgia for those games, and I guess a chance to expand upon lore, like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. But they're even worse remakes than that, and they don't do stuff like that. So going forward, the traditional Pokemon formula is, hey, we've gotten a remake now. Next game's going to be a traditional Pokemon game. And now we get Pokemon Legends Arceus. And this is where it just convolutes and confuses everything. And it's a real turning point potentially for them. But it's also this really weird point, because now they don't just have two separate lines of remake games, which are like, are they one-offs? Are they going to keep doing them? Are there still going to be Gen 2 Let's Go games? Are they going to make, Black and White is the next one in line, Gen 5. Are they going to make Gen 5 versions of this Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, half chibi, half whatever, by Ilka and everything? Then you have Legends Arceus, which is another side game. It's not technically a mainline game, although potentially this could be the start of what mainline games will be. And it's like, why I say that is because the battle system, the overhaul to the battle system, PP, and stats, and moves, balancing them, all of the love and care that they put in Legends Arceus there for something that's not even, like, battling is not even prevalent. It's mostly catching. It's mostly crafting. It's mostly exploration and story and cutscenes. And then you have the battle mechanic, which was, for the first time ever, took a back seat in Pokemon games. Like, kind of like Let's Go. Let's Go simplified battling. We're going to have less moves. We're going to have no abilities and no items. And we only have the original 151 Pokemon in there. That really simplified anything, but they didn't change anything else other than, the stuff that they added for the partner Pokemon. They didn't change anything else. Nothing. Pokemon moves look essentially almost the same. PP is the same. Stats are the same. Everything is the same. Legends Arceus throws all that out the fucking window, and battling's not even a main component of the game. So now you've got this game, this side game, that for the first time in Pokemon history breaks competitive like completely deviates and breaks from the formula of competitive battling while still maintaining the core of what it is. Still has the PP system. Moves still have accuracy. Most of the status conditions that have RNG are either reworked or slightly different. Except Para. Para still sucks. There's no held items. And there's no abilities except for one Pokemon. One Pokemon. And spoiler alerts, if you don't want to hear anything about Legends Arceus, leave, go learn stuff about Legends Arceus, come back, because I will be saying stuff about the game, and I'm just gonna stop caring about spoilers for that. So 3, 2, 1, you're still here? Okay. In Legends Arceus, there's only one ability. It's Regigigas. Still has slow start. I was so disappointed. But then now you have this game that has this changed system. And it's like, where do we go from here? This is so confusing. So the next one, everybody's talking about, because I'm watching right now, why I'm really talking in this sense too, I'm watching a lot of people. I haven't watched a lot of people play through Pokemon games and everything since Sun and Moon, really. I haven't watched, and fan games. I don't really care. And Let's Go. I watched some Let's Go playthroughs. But I'm watching a lot of people talk about this game and everything. And I specifically been watching a lot more Wolfie VGC than I have in a while, because there's nothing new. There hasn't been anything new and competitive for Pokemon since Dynamax, and that sucks. And the held items that comes with that. But there hasn't been like really anything new or substantial for competitive Pokemon until this. This actually has changed. This is a whole new meta for competitive Pokemon. Unlike Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl or Let's Go, where it just took random shit out and inserted other things in, this just changes and adds onto it. And I keep seeing his videos where he's talking about when the mainline games come back. When the mainline games come back. And I don't know if the mainline games should come back. I don't think they should. Gen 9 should not be modeled after Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, Let's Go, or Gen 8. Everything moving forward should be modeled after Legends Arceus. Even if you remove the fact that you can catch all the Pokemon in one game, you still keep 2 versions in there. You bring back held items and ability. Even if you have that stuff, the actual gameplay should be modeled after Legends Arceus on every way, shape, or form. It's an improvement and a change for Pokemon in every conceivable way. So for your casual person who plays Pokemon, the gameplay is much better. But as a competitive aspect, like, they haven't changed anything like that ever. So, what does Pokemon do going forward, right? What do they do? Are the Let's Go games dead? They weren't huge. They weren't like as big as other games. I mean, they're not well received by a lot of fans. Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, as much as you might like them, or as cute as they look, or as not as bad as I thought they would be, like my end. I'm playing that game for the first time as a Nuzlocke, and I'm bored. It's slow. The battling and everything, the transitioning from back and forth is slow. The gameplay loop, it's only battling. It's slow. It's boring. Where do they go? Is that now dead? Is Ilka just gone from that? Are they not going to be doing any more there? Are the Let's Go games gone? Gen 9. What is Gen 9? Is Gen 9 just going to be, okay, the wild area? Boom. And we're done with these stagnant cameras. Everything is a free range camera. And it's just like Gen 8, but a new region, new Pokemon, and it's only the wild area. Because that sucks. Because if the battle mechanics are still there, PP is wildly, if for those of you who don't know and don't play competitive Pokemon, or for those of you who are competitive Pokemon players who are just in denial, PP is a dumb, broken system. You have stuff that ranges from 8 PP to 64 PP. And some of those 64 PP moves, like Haze, are valuable. You have shit like Toxapex, which, if Toxapex were, it's not in Legends Arceus, but if Toxapex were in Legends Arceus, Toxapex would be balanced, because it doesn't have Regenerator, and it can't have Black Sludge. And status conditions aren't permanent. There's so many things that it changes that's just like, what are we all talking about when the next mainline game comes out? This is the mainline game. Do you not want this being the mainline? You don't want a better battle system? You don't want more care into the battle animations these Pokemon have? You don't want these things? Because if it's one or the other, which it looks like it kind of will be, I would rather just have mainline games to situate, and serve the purpose of whatever. Keep them the same as Sword and Shield. Just have them as the wild area. Have that for the typical fan base that just wants, oh my god, a new Pokemon game. Did you see this? Oh my god, a new this. Versus the Legends games where it's like, this is actually fun. So going forward, I really don't know what Pokemon does here. And if you're sitting home or wherever you're at watching this and you're like, why the fuck is this even a question? Why is this dude fretting over it? I'm not. I'm just bringing it up, talking about it. But the reason why I really talk about this too is because here's the thing. What does Pokemon do looking at the sales? Because the sales drive a game, right? Your game sells more, it's going to get a sequel more likely get a sequel, or the studio's going to have more money to do whatever the fuck they want. They're going to know that's what they do. So if Pokemon does these cash grab sequels, these cash grab remakes that aren't changing anything, aren't any different, and they're just at a higher price point but the same fucking game that it was 10, 15 years ago, and they don't sell well and they don't have good reception, they're not going to do them. If Let's Go is going to do something, hey, we're going to have a team that's trying this new mechanic, this new stuff, and it's still a remake, and those sell okay, but they don't have good reception, they might not make more of those. Sword and Shield, even though they're received bad, and they should be, because they are the worst Pokemon games. And I've made videos on Sword and Shield, and if you have any questions about why I think Sword and Shield are the worst games, leave a comment down below. I will engage with you, and I will tell you in long comments why it's bad. Objectively, not subjectively. Subjectively, you can like Sword and Shield. I like some things about them. I don't dislike everything that's in the game. Oh my god, are some of the things just fucking horrible. But those games sold a $30 DLC. They sold well. Now, the split versions do kind of arbitrarily inflate the sales because you get somebody that might buy both, or those double packs that they sell that are just the worst thing in fucking video games ever. Double packs of a game that has like no differences. But the whole point for you is to trade with other people anyway, so they have that, and those sales are exactly why they'll keep making games, because that game sold a lot, and it's DLC, which took no work. Some of it was cut content from the fucking game, sold for half the price of the game. So even both people who got Sword and Shield on a discount or from as a gift from somebody else would even buy it, would be like, you know what? I didn't buy the game. I didn't spend that much. I'll buy the DLC, right? The sales for that game prove that that game is going to have a sequel. And they're most likely going to follow suit in that, where it's going to have a base game, it's going to have a DLC, even if it has to have stuff that's cut content to be DLC. And then you have Legends Arceus, which, going by the sales numbers, sell more than Sword and Shield. Based off of I believe it's the UK one, it's like the top 4, it's like the 4th place top selling Pokemon game of all time in UK alone, which is a big market for Pokemon. This game didn't have DLC and didn't, like, from the consumer, and didn't look like it really needed to have DLC. It looked like a complete package. And I can tell you, from playing Legends Arceus, sure, it can have DLC, and that'd be great. If it doesn't have DLC, it's a complete game, and it's great. And there should be more in the series of Pokemon Legends. But this game has one version, so there's no inflating sales, has no DLC at the moment, announced or anything other than just leaks. And it's number 4 in the UK charts for Pokemon games. So what do? They make Gen 9? Well, look at the sales difference of like the downward spiral from Gen 8. What if they make Gen 9 and people look at that and be like, all the people who are like me, who played Legends Arceus and are like just blown back, like, thank you, finally, you're finally making an actual RPG. I'm not touching that game. I'm not buying that ever. I'm not buying that for friends or family or my little brothers like Pokemon. They ain't getting that shit. You want that? Go learn a day's hard work for a couple of weeks and get the money to go buy that game. I ain't buying that shit for you. I am not promoting the sales of that game. I did that for Sword and Shield, and I regret it. So the players like me, not going to play it. The people who picked up Legends Arceus, who haven't picked up Pokemon in a long time other than to just review it, or like the tech tubers who would just kind of review them, or the Poketubers, I mean, the more casual group, they're not touching the next mainline Pokemon game. That's for the competitive people to have, that's for them to update and have on their world championship so they can have updated models in a new game and everything. Well, Arceus doesn't have that outlet there. But what if it did? What if Arceus had that online outlet? What's the point of having a Gen 9 that is not modeled after Legends Arceus and is modeled after a bigger version of the wild area in Gen 8? Because I can tell you from playing over 3 months. 3 months? Okay, I had the game for 3 months, but I played for about 6 weeks. Good 2 months about of Sword and Shield play, and I beat that game in like 4 days. So all of that was post-game. Post doing nothing and grinding and grinding and trading and grinding and battling and trading and grinding and battling. The wild area does not compare to Legends Arceus, and at all. And people are like, oh, a lot of reviews are essentially saying like, oh, it's the wild area, but it's a more refined version of the wild area. No, it is not. Hell no, it is not. The wild area is barren and empty and has nothing. This has crafting materials. This has Pokemon, not just static 3D animations. They actually do things. They attack, they run, they sleep. Like the next evolution of this is having like Heracross and Pinsir battling and at each other. Watching Marinese and Toxapex chase after Corsolas. And then the ghost Corsolas chasing after them because they're ghost Pokemon. They're not the Pokemon they're going after. This is the evolution there, having like integrating Snap level of interactivity with the Pokemon into Legends Arceus. But Legends Arceus is not like, if the wild area was not made, would this Pokemon game have been made? Is the big question. Pokemon games have years in development cycles. For those of you who don't know, okay, Gen 6 is coming out. Gen 7 is already in production by the time Gen 6 is coming out. So there is no fan reception. There is no review outlets. There is no nothing. The game is already being made, and we are already making the next game. And there was no way, no fucking way, that this game just changed and was like, oh, you know what? We should have free range camera and a dodge mechanic and crafting, and the Pokemon should have multiple different types of animations throughout the overworld. All of that stuff had to have been at the design, the conception of the game. So when Sun and Moon come out, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were basically already done. Same fucking game. But when Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and when Sun and Moon came out, Sword and Shield was being developed. It might have been in the development stages, planning out the Galar region, traveling around, figuring out what they're going to want to do, crafting the basics behind Dynamax and everything. But when Sword and Shield came out, this game had to have already been past that conception period. There's no way. COVID had to have slowed down productions in some way, shape, or form, even if it was only by a few months. And this game was already being conceived. Like Let's Go is being conceived well before it released. Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl didn't just come out of nowhere in 6 months and be like, here you go, here's a trailer. This had to have been planned. Maybe not Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. Yeah, it's an over-exaggeration. But Legends Arceus wasn't just like fucking plucked out of a hat. Been like, hey, they like that from Gen 8, so here you go, guys. Here's everything you need for your next game. You guys got to go make that Legends Arceus team. No, this had to have been like, they had to have planned a lot of the things they wanted to do. Specifically, free range camera, dodging, overworld Pokemon, having those multiple animations, having different sizes, shiny Pokemon. I didn't shiny hunt at all in Sword and Shield. I just happened to find a few shinies. So I don't know if in the wild area they show up as shiny, but they do in this game. They show up shiny, and if they're a different size, they show up as a different size. It's wonderful. There was no way in any conceivable Earth that wasn't already being created when Sword and Shield came out. With the development cycle these games have, there's no way. There's too much to be done to make the overworld, to redo and balance the battle mechanics that are actually balanced here, to introduce crafting materials and what crafts into what and all these things, and rebalancing items. There's also items like potions and stuff that heal more because the HP has been increased, and different types of Pokeballs doing different things, and there's too much that had to have been created for all of those things to have been a product of the wild area. So the wild area is not why we have Legends Arceus. We have Legends Arceus because people have been asking for a 3D fucking Pokemon game forever. So where do they go? Do they continue the wild area? The wild area sucks. The wild area is empty. It's bland 3D models that just have an exclamation point and then just chase after you. What do they do? It's very interesting. And for everybody who's just like, who cares? They're gonna make a mainline game anyway. Will they? Look at those sales numbers. Let me pull up those sales numbers actually. Here we go. Perfect. I'm pulling it up right here. So to compare to Legends Arceus, Pokemon Sword and Shield, which at the time were very big selling Pokemon games because for a Switch title, a lot of people have a Switch. It's a hotter selling fucking system than the DS, 3DS, and all that. They sold the equivalent time that Legends Arceus has been out between the two of them, which we've already said, and tons of people talk about this. It artificially inflates the sales because you have double packs and you have people who buy one and the other eventually or on release. Just pre-order both. I know people. I've been to these Pokemon releases. I've been there. People are leaving with those double packs. A lot of people leaving those double packs. A lot of people are leaving with both versions of the game. Sword and Shield together sold 6 million copies during its release window. I don't know how long that release window is. Maybe it's a week. But Legends Arceus, within 7 days of its release date, sold 6.5 million. So it outsold Sword and Shield, which were already top-selling games, and that's not even taking into consideration the arbitrary inflation of their sales from the dual versions. You also have the potential that people want an Arceus DLC. People are like, oh, you know what? If there's an Arceus DLC, if it adds more crafting stuff, if it adds a new area, if it adds like 100 plus Pokemon, people will fucking buy that because they'll have a reason to replay the game, play more of the game. So DLC potential, a $30 DLC, is potential for both of them. But what's better, selling DLC for a game that more people have or less people have? This is kind of like more common sense in marketing, and that's why it's so interesting to talk about. It's like, what do they do? Do they go back to the split versions? Have the people like me who are permanently gone from those games forever? I will not play another game that does not deviate and is not an improvement from this game. You're going to lose those sales. And I was part of those 6 million Sword and Shield sales. You lost mine. You lost other people's. What happens? Because that person doesn't buy that game. They don't buy that DLC. So it doesn't matter that game sells DLC. It matters that game doesn't sell. What do? Nobody likes the wild area. Nobody. Anybody who likes the wild area lies to you. The wild area sucks. Okay? Pokemon in there suck. Their sizes suck. They're not scaled properly. Legends Arceus is just the complete opposite in that way. And the textures in Legends Arceus are not vastly better than the wild area as a whole, overall. I think Sword and Shield, where it looks good, are its places where you don't move the camera. It's more traditional style, camera looking over you as you move around, and the camera moves with you above, like a little helicopter above you. I think those areas in Sword and Shield look good. They're not fun, and it's not what they want to do, because obviously they're doing the wild area and they're deviating with stuff like this. They have the BDSP underground stuff. They have Let's Go. They obviously want to have overworld Pokemon and you walking around and interacting with the overworld Pokemon. Overall, they want that being the norm in Pokemon. It's obvious. So what do? What if Gen 9 was already in the creation of this? Gen 9 just might fail. If Gen 9 follows suit of Gen 8, if it's already being made and it's like, hey, you know what? They're doing Legends Arceus and doing all this, but I think instead of changing all the things that they did in that game, it's safer for us to just stick to traditional style. As a casual Pokemon fan, Legends Arceus is the way to go. As a hardcore Pokemon fan, Legends Arceus is definitely the way to go because it adds actual lore. It actually makes some characters have arcs and growth throughout the game. Versus Bede and Marnie and Olivier or whatever her name was, and then Chairman Rose and Leon. Leon is just not for a character who's so prominent, who does so much, he does so little in the game, and he just has like no arc. He just has the arc of, I battle at 100% all the time and I've never lost. And that is who he is as a character. That's not interesting. There's nothing there that's it. Like, every single aspect there is just done better in this game. And it shows from the sales and it shows from the reviews. So that's why it's interesting. If this game didn't sell as much, I'd be worried. If this game wasn't getting review bombed with positively review bombed from people, I would also be worried for this, like the future of this franchise and this spin-off in this game. But the fact that it's being positively received by people who are not hardcore Pokemon fans, the hardcore Pokemon fans loving most of this stuff that's added in this game. It's so interesting. It's not a position Pokemon's been in before. Because Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness are still some of the best Pokemon games. Even though I love the physical special split, just makes Pokemon battling just mountains better. XD Gale of Darkness is better than any other of the Pokemon games I've been playing recently. It's good. Even now, it's good. It's dated. It's got its stuff, but it's still good. It's relatively kind of hard compared to newer Pokemon games and what Pokemon has become. And Pokemon's never been in that situation where it's had another game. It's because it's always just been remakes, and that's why I brought up the traditional way Pokemon's done it: mainline game, remake, mainline game, remake. Why? Excuse me, because remakes sell, and I think that's a little bit of a non-truth. I think that's slightly having a little intellectual dishonesty, because remakes don't always sell. I mean, maybe BDSP also did sell, but remakes aren't good selling points for Pokemon. A good remake is. Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire was a semi-decent remake, just has no post-game. It has more post-game than it had, but it takes away stuff that was in Emerald, which is kind of the same thing the BDSP were. Doesn't really have much when you're not making it after Platinum, you're making it after Diamond and Pearl. There's too many changes to the generation that were good from Diamond and Pearl to Platinum it's just no reason to not put them in. We got something like Let's Go that just does something different. And I would say Let's Go is better than playing Yellow. Personally, I think the partner Pokemon are cool. Partner Pikachu, partner Eevee, cool. Catching mechanic, I think it sucks. But it's doable on handheld. I don't think playing it on the screen and in docked mode is actually fun for Let's Go. I think handheld is fun for Let's Go. But like, look at the remakes that are like people say are, oh my god, like this is a Pokemon game. Heart Gold, Soul Silver adds follow Pokemon, extends the Pokedex up to all of the Pokemon that are up to there, adds more events. You have the Unknown event. Unknown is featured in that game with stuff with Arceus, Dialga, Palkia, Giratina. You have to create a level 1 legendary Pokemon. Create, not catch. You create a level 1 legendary Pokemon. You have the physical special split. You have all the items that were introduced into it. You have better animations. You have some of the story stuff. Even though it's Heart Gold and Soul Silver, it's still based off of Crystal. So, do remakes sell? And do Pokemon remakes, are they good when they put the potential and the work into them? Fire Red and Leaf Green, not huge fans of them. Are they better than Red and Blue? Yeah, the Sevi Isles are great. It's cool to have extra things in the game. That really is not it's not something that shouldn't be a possibility for someone as large as Pokemon Company. Something as large as Pokemon Company. And it's so interesting that they finally have this thing that breaks from their formula, is completely out of their comfort zone with a lot of their stuff, is what fans have been asking for years. And not only does it sell more, but it has a better reception with people too. And this game, here's the thing, here's the real truth of this game. Here's the real truth of this and the future of the franchise. This game, for those of you who don't know, leaked online. We're not talking like a Pokedex leak. There's always a Pokedex leak. There's been Pokedex leaks since from what I've been paying attention to, X and Y. There's been data mines. They've been fucking leaked since forever. Okay? There's always the leaks, the Riddler leaks, and then this leaks, and there's always shit. Some of it's true. A lot of it's not, and it's bullshit in there. But at some point, the Pokedex usually leaks days before release of the fucking game. Because it's out somewhere, someone data mines it, and someone gets there. It also builds hype for the game. I don't think it's a bad thing. It brings hype. If you don't like the leaks, don't watch them. People are shitty with leaks. You shouldn't put leaks in thumbnails. You shouldn't put them in pictures for your articles. You shouldn't talk about like why this blank huge leak spoiler thing, blah, 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 as the title of your video or your article. That's you being shitty in the community. That has nothing to do with leaks themselves, because leaks are inevitable. But this game leaked, was playable days before release on emulator, on PCs. I know. It's how I'm playing it right now. It's where I played it. I can't wait to buy this game. Can't wait. I'm currently still trying to get a job and get some stuff. I got some personal things going on. But I have a gift card that I saved. Why? To go and buy this game. Now I just gotta get a Switch, which will be happening at some point. But will I play this game on Switch? Sure, absolutely. Would I get this game and go give my Switch to a friend who hasn't played this and be like, go play this? Hell yeah, absolutely. Hey, restart it and go do it again. That's fine. You know, doesn't matter to me. Pokemon game, you can restart it 100 times. I don't care. Whatever. There's no online competitive for it. I don't need to keep any of those Pokemon for any specific reason other than I missed my shiny Pokemon. But this game leaked. So a game, if there was ever any Pokemon game to have its sales reflect negatively because the game was free everywhere. Anyone that had a PC could play this game. If there was ever a game for its sales to be hit negatively because of a leak, it's this game. And what did it do? It outsold Sword and Shield. What do they do? I think. Oh, and then I need to touch one other aspect, competitively, because I haven't touched competitively. If you're a competitive player, and this will be quick, if you're a competitive player and you think that Legends Arceus is not the future for competitive battling, I don't know why, like, what you and I are just not on the same page. I don't understand how you're a competitive battler. This is so many good things for competitive battling. There's still some things that need working out. It's Pokemon. They're still keeping PP, but they don't have abilities. They don't have pressure specifically. There's no PP up and PP max from what I can tell. Why? Because that balances it. Because PP is actually also derived from their new gameplay mechanic, which is a style system. So real quickly, for those of you who don't know, the style system makes you change two things. There's no longer speed and it's like turn-based anymore. There's like an action like list, more like the Digimon games or something like Persona. There is like an action bar for how fast the faster you are, the more moves you're gonna have, but you can't eternally outspeed something that's slower than you. It's, you know, it's balanced. And if you use, so the style system is if you use a style, the agile style or the power style, they both use 2 PP rather than the 1 PP. And they come with a bunch of bonuses. The speed one slightly lowers the power and makes you move faster on the action list. And the power one, you know, increases the power but makes it slower. But in order to also balance that out, because it's kind of like, I'd rather move twice and hit for more damage than once really powerfully anyway. Well, accuracy, which is another thing I don't really like so much in Pokemon, where I think it could use some reworking. It actually has some reworking here. If you use the strong style, your accuracy is increased. So something like a Hydro Pump, I believe, will definitely hit, or has like from 80 accuracy to 95 accuracy. It's huge. Hypnosis. You can just use strong style Hypnosis and it increases the accuracy, or you can use agile style, and because it has no damage output, or use agile style and possibly hit either, if that one misses, another one or a move. So competitively, Legends Arceus is the future, not Sword and Shield. Dynamax is a broken mechanic. There is no conceivable way that you can tell me Dynamax is not broken. It's broken and unbalanced. It is the pinnacle of Pokemon being unbalanced and broken. And I don't think abilities and held items are. I think in conjunction with PP and accuracy and unbalanced statuses, yes, and critical hits, oh my god. Then the only thing that Legends Arceus, like the next thing for Pokemon to do is to get rid of critical hits or rework them to actually be balanced. I think a critical hit just sucks. Just sucks. Randomly, here you go, boom. I think there's ways to rework it. I think there's ways to do it. Omitting it would also be fine. But there's ways to rework it. But you have all of these things that don't work, and you have something like Dynamax. And think of the last 2 mainline generations. What do they have? Mega Evolutions. It was the first one. Mega Evolutions didn't work on the first gen. Like the speed, and it wasn't I mean, you could say it's a feature because it's in the game, but when you Mega Evolve, your speed change didn't happen on turn 1. When Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire came out, that changed. It happened when you Mega Evolved. So they didn't intend for it to be like that. It just happened to be like that. That's stupid. That's fucking dumb. Mega Evolution is also not for every Pokemon. So what are you doing? You're making the power creep even bigger. Okay, here's this Pokemon that, like, Mega Evolution should be for Pokemon that really suck. You know? Raticate should have had a Mega Evolution. Electrode should have had a Mega Evolution. Tyranitar did not need a Mega Evolution. Lucario, I don't even think Lucario needed a Mega Evolution. Garchomp did not need a Mega Evolution. Charizard didn't need 2. So, Mega Evolutions, again, we're just adding more broken, unbalanced stuff on top of a broken, unbalanced battle system. And you have Z moves, which are highly unbalanced. Everybody who bitches about Z moves can talk about them. I think National Dex is fun. And I still don't like Z moves. But they're okay. It takes up a held item. It could work for any Pokemon. They can't be used in conjunction with the Mega Evolution. And they work for any move that the Pokemon has. I think that they're more balanced than Mega Evolution. Like it's more fair to Pokemon than Mega Evolution, and it's more balanced by far than Dynamax. Giganta or Gigantamax, whatever it's called. It's better than those. But compare Z moves to the Style System. Style System is better. Style System addresses PP, addresses accuracy, right? But it also comes with changes to the battle system mechanics, not permanent statuses. Reworking the PP so nothing has more than like 20. Competitively, nothing has more than like 15. Because most of the moves that are like competitive are 5 and 10, and maybe some you could be like, you can use that 15 or 20 PP move as a, if that Pokemon gets it for having more PP and yada, yada, yada. So, even competitively, Legends Arceus is still a step in the right direction. So, for you competitive players, like, if there was just an online of Legends Arceus, you're going to tell me that that's less fun than Dynamax? Are you fucking kidding me? So, I said so like 50 times this video. I'm very curious. I want to hear what everyone also has to say. So this is the end of it. There's no goal to this. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm literally just telling you like the reality of Pokemon's never been in this situation where they have to make a decision of doing what we've been doing and potentially tanking our sales compared to this side game, which is just selling more, or changing our whole formula and potentially, gaining back player base that's left, making the current one even happier than they are, and then getting even more new players and even more of the old people because we're actually doing things to change. It's going to be a very interesting the next year is going to be interesting because, correct me if I'm wrong, they don't go longer than 3 years. They haven't gone longer than 2 like full years between a gen cycle. I think it was 2 years between Black 2, White 2, and X and Y, from what I remember. And they usually come out like around the same time, November-ish. So, Sword and Shield came out 2019. If they don't release another mainline game, that will be the longest. They don't also tend to do that because a lot of the anime, and a lot of the card games, and everything are tied in with the games. They all have simultaneous releases, right? It's a very specific formula they have to have everything like that released because it's not just about the games. Everybody who wants to talk about the games and all this, Pokemon is not about the games. Pokemon is as a franchise about everything. The anime gets airtime. The anime sells products, sells new Pokemon, new merchandise. The cards sell. The profit they have from cards is insane. And then they have the games. which also helps the merchandising and more. But they have the games, and then they're, not the biggest sellers. For how much money has to go in for the creation of these games, they're not the biggest sellers. But 6.5 million fucking copies in a week? In a week of a game that leaked fucking early. Actually, like, physically leaked where you could play it. I think that if they do Gen 9, it's going to have worse sales than Sword and Shield. Not just lifetime. I think it's going to have worse than 6 million in the first week. There's no way. Because there's no way that people are playing this game and actually going to go back. And because I have a theory. So for all you at the end of this video here, I have a theory and you can indulge in it. I was talking to my friend while I was playing Legends Arceus. I was completing the Pokedex. He was like, "Are you still playing?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm having fun with the game. Some things are annoying and I'm just doing the grindy, tedious shit now, but I'm having fun. I'm playing it." And I told this to him, that I'm starting to get convinced that there's less fan bases and more addicts. Right? Somebody that doesn't, isn't there for the franchise and the IP, but needs their fix. Like, oh my, just give me a new, like somebody who's not like, somebody who's critical of Pokemon, I feel like is more of a fan than somebody who's just like, please, just give me anything. Here's my money, here's my $60, just give me something new from Pokemon. Like, that's not healthy. So, if Gen 9 follows suit from Gen 8 and not Legends Arceus, and they don't have the gameplay changes and mechanics that are all present in this game, because Legends Arceus is a building block. It's not like this is what all the other games should strive to be. No, this is here. This is like what everyone's been wanting. This is what you're capable of at the bare minimum here. From here, you need to go up. If you don't go up from here, you're fucking up, and you're lazy, and you show it because you did this. So you can't give us less. So if Gen 9 still sells a lot and is not a progression from Legends Arceus, but is more of a progression from just the wild area in Gen 8 in the traditional style, then it's going to prove my theory that there's no Pokemon fans anymore. There's Pokemon addicts. Because the true Pokemon fans like me are just like, will bash the things that aren't good because they're not good. And then this comes out and it's like, finally, thank you. I've been waiting. Thank you so much. So we'll see. We'll see if the fans come out in support of this game and making this game the future of the franchise. We'll see if the Pokemon addicts stay and make it so it doesn't really matter, because they're going to, millions of people are going to buy up the next thing in droves anyway, no matter what it is. We'll see. I really hope that the future of the franchise as a whole, every Pokemon game, is modeled after Legends Arceus. But we'll see. I have no idea. And yeah, so that's why I wanted to come out and say. I wanted to just, shout that out into the ether and have you all here and talking about it, and just let me know down in the comments. What do you think? And don't in the comments tell me like I'm wrong about Gen 8 or something, or that Legends Arceus sucked. That's not the topic of this video. It doesn't matter, and you're wrong. Just picking a fight with you. No, honestly, in the comments down below, let me know what you think the future of Pokemon has to, with all the evidence I brought here, what do you think the future of Pokemon has to be for them to be, say, successful? They're going to be successful no matter what. But what do you think the future of Pokemon has to be going forward to please the fans? Because I haven't seen fans as happy with any Pokemon release since nothing from the 3D era. Nothing. Pokken was a breath of fresh air for people. Snap 2 was a breath of fresh air for people. And this. So I'm interested in what all of you are thinking. If anybody's watching this or even made it here, let me know down in the comments below. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want. It helps me grow this channel, whatever. But more importantly, leave a comment down below or comment on somebody else's comment. I'm really interested on what the general audience is actually feeling about the future of Pokemon. Not what they feel about Legends Arceus or what they think about other games. Like, what do they think about the actual future and what Pokemon needs to do? Very, very curious here. So leave your comments down below. I will interact with you guys and talk to you down there as well. And until next time, if you're watching this now, I probably having this uploaded before my Arceus review, because that's going to take a while to actually edit for me. I'm not great at editing, and I'm just trying out new editing software. So you let me know down below what you think, and I'll talk to you guys later, and I'll see you soon. And if you haven't played Arceus, Legends Arceus, go and play it. Go and try it in any way that you possibly can if you don't have a Switch or something available, and if not, borrow somebody's Switch. Somebody's copy, buy your own copy of the game, but borrow somebody's Switch and just keep your copy of the game. It's good. It's really great.